Okay, I just got back from driving around Arlington this week and I had to make this video because what I'm seeing is honestly kind of wild. There are construction cranes everywhere. I'm talking massive projects that are going to completely change what this area looks like. And the crazy part is, most people have no idea how big this really is. I'm Rick Hartunian, your Greater DC area realtor, and I've been covering Greater DC real estate for a while now, but what's happening in Arlington right now is different. We're not just talking about a few new apartment buildings, we're talking about Amazon's iconic Helix building finishing up. Over 7,900 new apartments in the pipeline, luxury homes starting at nearly $2 million, and Arlington adapting what's called the 15-minute neighborhood. And here's what got me excited enough to sit down and actually film this. It's all happening at the same time. Like, construction crews are out there working on all this stuff right now. According to the president of the National Landing Business Improvement District, there's about $12 billion worth of public and private investment in the pipeline. So I wanted to walk you through exactly what I'm seeing, where it's all happening, and what it actually means for people who live here or who are thinking about making the move here. Now let's start with the big one everyone's heard about but doesn't really understand the scope of: Amazon HQ2 and what's actually happening with their plans. Now I need to be honest with you about Amazon's famous Helix building, that 354-foot glass double helix structure that looks like something from a sci-fi movie. While it's part of their Penn Place development that got approved back in 2022, construction's currently on indefinite delay. Amazon paused the second phase in March 2023, citing that their existing metropolitan park can accommodate up to 14,000 employees, so they decided to shift the groundbreaking out a little bit longer. The reasons include hybrid work habits from the pandemic, tech sector layoffs, and concerns over slowing revenues. But here's the encouraging part. Despite the delay, utility work for the second phase started in early 2024. This infrastructure investment is actually a really good sign. It shows that Amazon is still committed to the project long term. They're just being cautious about timing. Phase 1, called Metropolitan Park, opened in 2023 with two 22-story towers that can hold 14,000 employees. And while we wait for the Helix, the transformation around it is still moving full speed ahead. And speaking of transformation, here's something that shocked me when I researched this. National Landing is getting over 7,900 new apartments. That's a 51% increase in housing units. Think about what that means for the area. More people, more businesses, more restaurants, more everything. This housing boom isn't just new construction either. Two old buildings on Crystal Drive are getting completely transformed through Arlington's smart adaptive reuse approach. 2100 Crystal Drive is becoming a 330-room hotel, and 2200 Crystal Drive is turning into 200 condo or apartment units. Instead of tearing everything down, they're converting old office buildings into places people actually want to live and stay. And to handle all these new residents and workers, by spring 2025, the Crystal City Metro stop is getting a new entrance on Crystal Drive. If you ever tried to get to that metro station, you know how much easier this is going to make that commute. Now, all this growth in National Landing is creating ripple effects throughout Arlington, especially when it comes to new housing options. And those ripple effects are pretty incredible when you look at what's happening with the residential market. The Grove at Dominion Hills is a new Toll Brothers community of luxury single-family homes. It's near Upton Hill Park and the East Falls Church Metro Station. These aren't just nice houses. They're starting at $1.9 million, almost $2 million for starting price. That tells you exactly what kind of market we're looking at in Arlington right now. Over at 6711 Lee Highway, there's a new townhouse community going up in East Falls Church with 27 units. Each are 3 or 4 stories with 2-car garages. What makes these special is that they're walking distance to the East Falls Church Metro Station. And in today's market, that metro access is worth its weight in gold. Here's a project that's flying under the radar, but it's pretty big. The Key Bridge Marriott in Roslyn is getting a massive redevelopment.
Say goodbye to a piece of DMV hotel history. Arlington County is making moves to demolish the old Key Bridge Marriott. Once a key part of the DMV skyline, it's now a health hazard. Matt Gregory explains why it's up to the county to bring it down.
They're partially demolishing and renovating the existing hotel to create 2 new residential buildings, one with apartments and one with condos, totaling 151 units. We're talking fitness centers, yoga studios, library, and rooftop clubrooms. Wakefield Manor over at 2025 Fairfax Drive is another 166-unit residential building with a proposed 139,000 square feet of new residential space. These are not small projects. These are substantial additions to Arlington's housing stock. If you're looking to buy, the luxury market is clearly strong, but there are also more rental options coming online. If you already own in Arlington, these developments are supporting property values across the board. But all this new housing is part of a bigger vision that Arlington has for how people should live their daily lives. Now, before I dive into the next big changes, if you want to learn more about the greater DC area real estate market and what the local policy changes are that are improving life here, or want to learn more about current events and new developments in the area, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I make videos about that stuff every single week. And if you're thinking about relocating to the greater DC area and you want to understand how these changes impact you specifically, reach out to me. I'd be happy to be a resource for you. I moved to the DMV over a decade ago from North Jersey, and I've since helped numerous people relocate from all over the country and from out of the country as well. I'll put my contact info in the description below. Reach out anytime. Okay, and the bigger vision I was just speaking about is something called the 15-minute neighborhood concept, which is going to completely change how you think about living in Arlington. The idea is simple. You should be able to walk or bike to everything you need for daily life within 15 minutes. We're talking grocery stores, restaurants, schools, parks, transit, all within a short walk or bike ride. Arlington is specifically investing in this concept in Clarendon, Ballston, and Pentagon City. They're adding bike lanes, making streets more pedestrian-friendly, and improving transit connections. Think about your current commute and errands. How much time do you spend in your car every single day? How much money do you spend on gas, parking, car maintenance, insurance? The 15-minute neighborhood concept could eliminate a lot of that. Arlington's putting serious money into bike lanes and pedestrian-friendly streets, along with enhanced transit. This isn't just talk, they're actually building the infrastructure to make this work. Properties in these 15-minute neighborhoods are going to be premium locations. If you can walk to work, walk to dinner, walk to the metro, your quality of life goes up and your transportation costs go down. Now, this focus on walkable neighborhoods ties directly into one of Arlington's smartest strategies for dealing with changing real estate trends. It's honestly something that other areas should probably copy. It's called adaptive reuse. Like everywhere else, Arlington has a lot of empty office buildings. People work more from home now, so there's less demand for traditional office space. Instead of letting these buildings sit empty, Arlington County approved something called an adaptive reuse amendment to their zoning rules. And this makes it faster and easier to convert old office buildings into apartments, condos, and hotels. Remember those Crystal Drive buildings I mentioned in the beginning? That's adaptive reuse in action. 2100 Crystal Drive, the old office building becomes 330-room hotel, and 2200 Crystal Drive becomes 200 residential units. This solves multiple problems at once. It creates more housing, which Arlington needs, and it puts empty buildings back to productive use. It's usually cheaper and faster than tearing them down and rebuilding altogether. This approach supports long-term economic resilience. Instead of having dead office buildings dragging down property values, you get vibrant, mixed-use neighborhoods. And speaking of long-term thinking, there's another major development that's going to shape Arlington's future for decades to come. And that something is that Virginia Tech is building a graduate school campus right in National Landing.
Really puts the tech in Virginia Tech.
It is a state-of-the-art facility the school calls Innovation Campus. We got a tour about 4 hours ago. The classes and research here will focus on next-generation technology.
This isn't just any satellite campus. Virginia Tech is specifically focusing on tech education and innovation, designed to work directly with Amazon and other tech companies in the area. Think about what this creates. You'll have graduate students studying the latest tech skills, working on real projects with Amazon and other companies, and then staying in Arlington for jobs right after graduation. This isn't just about education. Graduate schools drive research and development. You got professors doing cutting-edge research, students starting companies, and established businesses partnering on new projects. Universities bring culture and energy to areas. You get coffee shops, bookstores, cultural events, and a diverse mix of people. This makes neighborhoods more interesting and dynamic altogether. If you're thinking about real estate investment, areas around universities tend to have stable rental demand and steady property value growth. All of this academic and corporate activity is creating demand for the kind of lifestyle amenities that make a place not just livable, but actually enjoyable. And when I talk about enjoyable, let's discuss the fun stuff, where you're going to shop, eat, and hang out. All these new residents and Amazon employees need places to eat and shop. National Landing is getting numerous new restaurants and stores throughout the rest of this year in 2025, and they're not just chain restaurants. We're talking about establishments that cater to a sophisticated, well-paid customer base. Almost every new residential building I mentioned includes ground floor retail space. That means you can live upstairs and walk downstairs to grab coffee, pick up groceries, or meet friends for dinner. Amazon is hosting major events like the State of GovTech 2025 conference in June, and this positions National Landing as a hub for innovation and professional networking, not just a place to work. The Helix building will have landscape terrain that's open to the public. Amazon's Metropolitan Park already has public art, open spaces, and even a dog park. These aren't private corporate campuses, they're community spaces. More restaurants, more events, more public spaces, and more people means a more vibrant social life. Whether you're single, married, or you have kids, there will be more to do within walking distance of home. But all these great amenities don't mean much if you can't get around easily. So let me tell you about the transportation improvements that tie everything together. Because let's be honest, transportation is make or break for daily life, especially in the DC area. The new Crystal City Metro entrance on Crystal Drive, like I said, is coming by spring 2025, is huge for accessibility, but it's part of bigger investments in Metro, VRE, and bus rapid transit throughout the entire area. Arlington is building pedestrian bridges to connect different areas safely. No more dodging traffic to get from your apartment to the metro station. With the 15-minute neighborhood concept, Arlington is seriously investing in bike lanes and bike-friendly streets. If you've been thinking about biking to work, this might be the time and place to try it. You'll have Metro for getting into DC, the VRE for longer commutes, and improved bus service for local trips. Multiple options mean backup plans when one system has problems. And with all these transportation and walkability improvements, you might find that you can reduce car usage significantly. That's thousands of dollars a year in savings on car payments, insurance, gas, and parking. So when you put all these pieces together, the housing, the jobs, the amenities, the transportation, here's what it all means. This isn't just growth, it's transformation. Your neighborhood is becoming more walkable, more convenient, and more vibrant. Property values are supported by major corporate investment and thoughtful planning. You're gonna have more dining options, better transit, and just more things to do within walking distance. For potential residents, you're looking at an area that's becoming a true live, work, play community. High-paying jobs, walkable neighborhoods, excellent transit to DC, and the kind of amenities that make daily life easier and much more enjoyable. These projects are all happening right now and finishing over the next 2 to 3 years. Property prices haven't fully caught up to what these areas will be like when everything's complete. So my take, Arlington has always been a great place to live, but what's happening now is special. They're not just building more stuff, they're building better communities. The 15-minute neighborhood concept, the adaptive reuse of buildings, the integration of public and private spaces, this is thoughtful development that makes life better for residents. If you've been on the fence about Arlington, now's the time to take a serious look. And if you live here already, get ready for your neighborhood to become even better. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all the developments happening in the greater DC area. And if you're seriously considering a move to Arlington or anywhere in Northern Virginia or Montgomery County, reach out to me directly. My cell phone and email address are all in the description. I would love to be the agent that you choose to help you find your next home here in the DC region. Also, guys, for those of you that are out of town that have not seen my other videos yet, if you want to see what Arlington actually looks like, I have a full 4K driving tour video for you. I'll also have those links in the description for you to check out for yourself. It's a great way to check out the area if you've never been here or it's been a while since you visited before you start planning your move to the greater DC area. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.